Hey guys, welcome back to Unmedicated and Dysfunctional. I'm Ken's. Today we have a very special preview that we're going to be looking at. This is a short film that we're going to be watching, made by one of my very good friends, Lorenzo Ocon. I'm sorry if I missaid your last name, Lorenzo. And this film, I think, was very important for us to show on the channel. Lorenzo, a little bit of background on him. We met at the Scream event that I did a few months ago. And he is someone, without giving a lot of information, that we talk a lot about depression. And he has his own story with that. And that's one of the big reasons why this channel got started. So this short film here is basically another perspective on suicide. So there is some content in here that might be sensitive for some viewers. So if that is something that you are going to be uncomfortable with, or that might be too much, this is definitely not something that I would say is safe for children to see. So there is an 18 and older restriction on this video that I felt was necessary to put up, just because I don't want like a 3-year or 10-year-old to accidentally stumble upon this. But I do think it's very important for people who understand this kind of struggle, or who know people who go through this struggle, to see, because there's a lot of inner dialogue with this short film that I think opens up a lot of those points of view. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and watch Still Walking, written by Lorenzo. There was a whole team behind it, so phenomenal job by the team. We're going to go ahead and take a look and go back to our roots for a bit. So here we go. I really love what they did with the logo, by the way. It looks very good. Looks really good. And these shots.
By the time you read this, I'll be dead.
Heavy note to start on.
Or dying. At least in the hospital. Or maybe just napping. I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely gonna kill myself. This crippling depression, along with the realization my life will never go beyond the level of mediocre, has solidified my decision to leave this earth ASAP. But it seems like every time I try to end it, something comes up. I totally meant to do it this past week, but I got caught up in the NHL tourney. As soon as that ended, I was ready to end this charade I call life. But suddenly Saw 2 came on the Sci-Fi Channel. Saw 2 is my favorite in the series. This is the one where Jigsaw holds a game for 8 people in the house filled with deadly gas. Plus, while that's going on, he's talking to this corrupt detective guy, played by Donnie Wahlberg, about the appreciation of life. Movies. Some people like Saw 3 better, but that one's a little too slow for me. There's rumors of a Saw Part 8 coming out. There's not much info on it right now, but there's rumors that they're casting PJ Byrne for a role. What, are you kidding me? PJ Byrne? Come on. But anyway, I really got into that, and by the time the movie ended, it was pretty late, so I just decided to do the deed in the morning. So when I woke up the next morning, I was like, okay, Danny, it's go time. And I went downstairs to get a knife.
These shots.
When I got to the kitchen, I realized I was pretty hungry, so I decided to grab a bite to eat.
The shots that they used in this are
hey,
very well done.
Guys on death row get their last meal, right? I remembered I got a $20 gift certificate for IHOP. I won it by calling into Live 105 and answering the lunchtime drive-in trivia question. What band recorded the song The Flutes of
So I'm going to pause real quick. That line right there I thought was very interesting, because it kind of shows you that he was excited to do things before this point. Because when you get in that zone of being really depressed, you don't really participate in those kinds of things. At least for me personally, that kind of stuff seemed like a waste of time. So it wasn't stuff that I wanted to participate in. So I find it very interesting that that's what was pulled from that. So for the commentary, because there's a lot of voiceover in this, I'm going to be pausing and going. If you want to watch the entire thing without any commentary, there is a link to it down in the description. So make sure you do at least check out the page, give it a like, and support these guys on Vimeo. Since so far, they are really doing a great job with it. So here we go. We're going to continue.
It was Ween. So I went to IHOP and I pigged out. I figured, why not? No need to stick to South Beach at this point, right? It was so good. Me plus buttermilk pancakes plus shortbread cookies plus milk.
Oh, that all looks good.
But as soon as I was done, I rushed home to end my life. So I got back to the kitchen where, wouldn't you know, there wasn't a clean knife in the damn place. They were all in the dishwasher, which had just finished its cycle and was waiting to be emptied. My roommates and I have a little rule in the house. The first one to use a clean dish out of the dishwasher has to be the one to empty it. And I always end up getting stuck doing it. Nate and Rob would just let it sit there forever if they had their way. And I have a sneaking suspicion that they use a clean dish and then lock it back up and wait for the sucker, me, to empty it. Well, I refuse to have my last act on Earth be emptying a dishwasher.
So that was another very, very interesting thing that he put in there. So by needing the clean knife, he kind of showed that, yes, I'm going to kill myself, and yes, this is something that's going to happen, and I'm ready to do it. But he still has some pride and dignity in how he's going to do it. For example, you know, the clean knife, like, it's not going to matter once I'm gone, because I'm going to be gone. But if I'm going to do it, I'm at least going to use a clean knife. So that was something really interesting that I think he added in. And I also really like that you see these emotions going through. And it's all very vocal. And it's there's no, like, violent act that comes out. There's no yelling from it. It's just the, I'm frustrated right now. It's all that inner dialogue. You don't actually see anything, which I think is very, very good. A really good way to have done that.
So I decided to find another way to abandon my mortal vessel. Then I remembered, famous people like to kill themselves by taking a whole bunch of pills. So I figured that might be kind of a cool way to go. So I started scrounging around the house with some drugs. Unfortunately, all I could find were 5 Advil liquid gels, 4 Aleve, and a handful of cough drops. Not exactly what you call the lethal combo, but I decided to give it a shot anyway, and I swallowed the whole gang. As you probably guessed, the dose didn't kill me, but it did make me shit like a madman. I was on the toilet for so long that by the time I got off, I was too tired to even think about committing suicide. So I decided to finish myself off in the morning. So
again, with the pills, I'm pretty sure that this is accurate in that, you know, 5 pills of Advil, the Aleve, the cough drops, those on their own aren't really enough to do anything. You're going to have a bad time for sure. That's definitely not going to agree with your body, but it's even combining those, none of those drugs, I believe, are anything that can't react together. So that was a very, very clever way to do that as well. And I really like that there are these instances where he keeps pushing things further. And I think that's really actually kind of good that he's finding these things that going, well, I guess I'll do it later, because these things that aren't working out are actually what's keeping him alive. Very clever.
The next day, I planned to kill myself by parking Rob's truck in the garage and leaving the engine running, the way a young John Cusack tried to do in the cult 80s movie Better Off Dead, which still holds up even though it's a pre-dated movie. You should check it out.
That was a good way to break that right there.
And anticipated the next voice I heard would be St. Peter welcoming me to paradise. Instead, it was our neighbor Alan, with whom we share the garage. He's doing some work on his yard and he needed to borrow some tools. I told him that was fine and we both went back about our business. Unfortunately, Alan took so long getting the tools that all the carbon monoxide escaped the garage. So after 6 hours, not only was I not dead, but I also had a splitting headache.
How come nobody's asking
so I went to bed with my head
why he's
pounding
in the
with no
garage
relief
by
sight,
himself in the
since I'd
car?
taken all the Advil liquid gels. When it rains, it pours. So here I am now, ready to leap off this bridge, ready to plummet into the sweet abyss that is eternity. But you know, now that I really look at it, this may not be that high enough of a fall to kill me. Oh, grim specter of death, when will you finally harvest this wayward soul? It's a little cold up here.
Whoa, I wonder if they caught that while they were filming, because if they did,
like
that is
Japanese.
an awesome coincidence.
I think I'll head on over to the Kobisaki, get me some shrimp tempura, then mosey on home and catch some Adult Swim. Maybe I'll try again in the morning.
Wow. Gosh, I love his work, and he has a great look on camera. This whole film, just the perspective on it, is very, very fascinating. And he utilized a lot of these methods that are very, very common. With the carbon monoxide, the knife, the pills, those are all very, very common ways that people try to end their lives. That was a little bit creepy. That was creepy. This very, very creepy. So, you know, I really, really enjoy the perspective that they added to this big concept that a lot of us really, really struggle with. And I think it's really important to get inside someone's head and understand what they're going through, and understand, you know, as someone who does deal with that, understand that you're not alone, that there are other people who deal with this. So being able to get a perspective of someone who is either currently dealing with that or who has dealt with that. I know that he still has a lot of things that he's trying to get through, and I'm really, really happy that he's working through them instead of trying to utilize things like this. And if you are working through things like this, please, 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 please get help. And I don't mean help by ending things, okay? That's not a solution. I mean help by going and talking to someone, or maybe if you need to be on a medication for a little bit, trying that. Just be very, very careful with that, as we've talked about in some of our previous videos. Definitely be careful with what you're putting into your body in terms of medication and how that's changing your chemistry and your brain physiology. So be careful with those changes. But there is no shame in going and talking to someone. No one's going to look down upon you for doing that. No one, yeah, I mean, I tell a lot of my friends who I kind of push to go get help with things. One of my best friends, for example, for a while had a lot, she held on to things in a way that made her very angry all the time. So finally she went and saw someone, and that has been a huge shift for her. I see a therapist. It's really good to go talk to someone. And what I tell a lot of people who are dealing with that, but think that things will just change themselves over time and kind of work themselves out, is I look at them and I say, why would you wait for something to happen if, first of all, it's not a guarantee that it's going to help? If you can go talk to someone now and be happy, don't you want that for yourself? Don't you want to go and be able to be happy and not have to hold on to these things anymore? Because everyone can do that. It's all about what tools you have to be able to deal with these things, and how much you can push yourself to be able to get over it, and to be able to really just, because these aren't things that you're ever going to forget about. I'm never going to forget about the things that I had to go through growing up. I'm never going to forget about the people that I've met growing up, or the people that I'm meeting now. You never know what you're going to say that's going to influence other people. And people have said little things here and there that was like, that may not have been a big deal for them to say, but in that moment, it was really important for me to hear. And with this channel, that's something that I want to help other people with. I want to be one of those people that, hey, I know I may not know you face to face. I may not see you face to face. We can have conversations via text, via email, all this stuff, but I still want to help you get through it. And this channel, the purpose of this channel has really been to build that safe community where people, you can come out and say, hey, this is what I deal with. No one's going to shame you for it. No one's going to hurt you for it. You're not going to get bullied for it. That's not what we support on this channel. We don't support bullying. We don't stick with, trolling is a different thing. If they're trolling me, that's no problem. But there will never be an instance where I will allow a comment or something to stay up when someone is purposefully bashing someone for their story. That's never going to happen. So it is really important, I think, for people to be able to have a safe zone where they can talk about this stuff, because if we talk about it, that's a weight lifted off of our shoulders. That's oh my gosh, I understand what you're going through. I'm dealing with that too. That's hey, have you maybe tried this to check that out? That really, really helped me. You never know who you're going to meet. So take care of yourself, please. Mentally, it's very, very important. You could do a lot of things with your mind. You can make yourself sick. You can make yourself better. There's just a lot that you can accomplish by keeping your mind happy and healthy. So go make yourself happy. Go find help if you need help. It's very, very important, and you guys are important to me, even though I might not have spoken to you yet or seen you yet. You're still important. You're still a human being, and that's important to me. So as always, whenever we discuss these things, the suicide hotline is in my description below. That's where it lives for you guys if anyone needs that directly without having to do without consulting the Goog. So yeah, thank you, Lorenzo, for letting me share this. I really, really think that this was an important one for us to do. Very clever with the writing. He's an incredible writer. Definitely go check out his other work. His website is in my description below. Go check out this video, give him a big thumbs up, and we wish you the best of success, Lorenzo, and the rest of the team who's been behind this. Walker Films, Dollar and Donuts, phenomenal job. Your work for this video has been really beautiful. So thank you guys so much for joining me, for joining that live chat, for liking, commenting, subscribing, all that fun stuff. It really, really does help. So thank you guys so much. As always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.